Welcome to Believers Today, Inspiring Voices. And we'd like to invite you to join our podcast every Tuesday from 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm your host, Janice. Welcome to Inspiring Voices. How are you, Janice?
Thank you. I'm fine, and thank you so much. How are you, Jet?
Hey, I'm doing good right here in good old Japan, just hanging out. Ohio gozaimasu. Yeah, good morning. It's morning here, and we'd like to say to all of you there, welcome to Believers Today, Inspiring Voices. Today we have a host. We have a whole lot of things that we're going to be getting into with a wonderful woman. A legend, actually. Hey, let's just say, let's just tell it like it is. I don't know where to begin to, just to really start with your career. I mean, so I'll have to let you do what a lot of people say, toot your own horn, and that's okay, because we can do that here. Because see, what we know is that what God gives us is a blessing. God says, take what I give you and make others envious of you.
Right.
Because it comes from him. You started your career in our little county. I mean, we're so happy, we're so happy that you come from our little county of Cleveland County down in North Carolina.
That's right.
Okay.
First, let me say, domo arigato gozaimashita. I started out. Look, some of my first engagements was in Japan, remember? On tour with Warren Patty Page.
Yes.
Years ago. We went and laid the ground for you to come.
You sure did. You sure did. That's without a doubt.
Well, I started out in Shelby, North Carolina with the jukebox and the bootlegged moonshine and all the things that a club could bring you, because my mom died when I was 3 with me on her back, but my great aunt raised me. And my dad and her both had juke joints. So we had a party all the time. I didn't have any choice but to hear the jukebox say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. And when a man loves a woman, and you name it. I was dancing to it because the jukebox was right up underneath my bedroom. So even when I went to sleep, it was playing in my sleep. I used to wonder how did I know lyrics so well, but I realized now. I kept hearing them in my sleep, in my dreams. So it gave me like a photogenic memory when it came to lyrics.
Right.
However, I went to school at Shelby High School. I was one of the first kids that was chosen to integrate Shelby Junior High School. So I went through that. I understand what it is to be spit on and talked about and have to be picked up.
Okay, so you grew up doing Jim Crow then. Okay.
Yes, sir, I did with Martin Luther King. I can remember going to Woolworths and taking all my family, and they were real high yellow people. And I was determined they was gonna serve us. I was militant. They gonna serve us. I'm 16 years old. And you know what made me so mad, Jet?
What's that?
They didn't realize we were Black.
Wow.
I was so angry, I didn't know what to do. I went back by myself and made sure I was talking just like I need to talk.
Understandable.
Yeah, but God is good. When I graduated after going to going to church there like you, it came from the church. Reverend DeVoe and Reverend Raper, they all raised us up in the church.
Wow.
Those were our fathers that protected us and kept us from a lot of the things that was happening to me, because I was being subjected to a lot of abuse and rape and things like that with those type of people coming through the house, and my mom didn't know it, and dad either. So I was glad to go to church, and I started singing in the church. However, Jen, so many of them came back to the juke joint and met with the girls with the white gloves on after they took their husband and wives home. I didn't believe in their God. I just liked the candy. I liked the treats and the safe place to go and play. So when I got older, I knew that I wanted to be a singer. It was just in my spirit. And I remember I had gotten married to my first husband, Reggie Sadler.
Right.
And when our house burned down, he said, well, we're going to buy another house. I said, do me a favor. He already had me opening in his band. Reggie had the band. I said, let's do California or bust. He said, what do you mean? I said, I believe that I'm supposed to be a singer, a famous singer. And if you'll just invest in me, and let's go to California for 30 days while we got some money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never bring it
Mhm.
up again. So we did. And he took me up on it because he wanted to, make it too. When we got to California, we met this lady on Crenshaw Boulevard called Ismay. She was Jamaican. And she took us under her wings and began to take us to the total experience and what was that?
Oh my goodness, Lonnie, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. All those clubs.
The God, the Black Godfather. We're going to that. I know. I know. Lonnie was the first one I met. Okay, go ahead.
That was Sunset Boulevard, wasn't it?
Oh man, yeah. That was Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yeah, with the great big billboards going in.
Right next door to Freddie Jet's Pied Piper.
Yeah, right. Whiskey a Go-Go, all of those. So
okay, yeah.
We went, a lot of people saw us sing, and when 30 days was up, nobody wanted to sign us. Nobody said anything. And I had to keep my word and go home. We got in the car with the band and we started home. And when we got about an hour out, isn't that Barstow or something like that going out?
That's right, Barstow. That's right.
I realized
that's right down off the 10. That's off the 10. Right.
I realized I had left my coat. And I said, oh my God, I got to go back. It was a Sunday and it was closed. She was just doing somebody's hair privately that we didn't know who it was. And she said, Reggie said, go get what? I said, Dad'll kill me. I can't go home without that coat. That coat costs a lot of money. I can't go home without my coat. He turned all the way around. We went back. And when I knocked on the door, she stuck her head in the door and said, Janice, I thought you were gone. I said, I left my coat. And I can't leave my coat. My dad, blah, 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 blah. She said, just come on in. Come and get your coat right quick and go. When I went in, who was sitting in her chair but Richard Pryor. I said, oh my God, I know this is the Lord. I've been having supernatural stuff like meeting Bobby Womack and everybody while I'm down here, but I know this is the Lord because I had to come back and get my coat. And I was just gone. My mouth was going more than you ever seen me talk. I said, I can sing. I just need somebody to believe me. And blah, 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 blah. He said, he was sitting there with this thing on him, right, around his neck. And I was standing him over and I didn't realize how intimidating it was. And he looked at me and he said, just like this, Jet. Yeah. He looked at me and he looked down at my feet. And he said, you got some pretty feet. I said, what? What? Well, he snatched that thing off. He said, come and go with me. Come and go with me. I said, where are we going? He said, just come on. It was right straight down the street on Crenshaw, on whatever that is, the same place where they have Bishop, the Bishop's church was at that time. What's his name? Pastor anyway. He's the head of Pentecost Holiness Church.
That's down on Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Crenshaw was the boulevard. I mean, that was it anyway. That was the Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset wasn't anything for Black people. Right. Crenshaw was the boulevard.
Isn't that where Total Experience was?
That's exactly where Total Experience was. I thought it was. On Crenshaw Boulevard.
I went with him to the bar, but we had to pass the car with the big trailer on the back and the van. You know, we carried stuff in the U-Haul back then. The music. Right. All our instruments. And he looked at that thing. He said, I said, oh, this is my husband. He opened the door and this one is my bass. He said, just come on and go with me. He didn't take none of them. He took me down to the bar. And when he walked in the door, he said, the drinks are on me, on the house. Everybody get a drink. He turned over to me and said, what you drinking? I said, a Coke. He said, a Coke? I said, yeah, a Coke. You know, I never cared about that because I lived in the nightclub. I didn't want to be in no bar. That's the last place I wanted to go. So I sat there, 10 minutes went, 20 minutes went, 15 went, 30 minutes went. When it hit 30, I got up and I pushed that coat back. You know, Jet, I was always feisty. I jumped up and I started walking back and I was talking to myself. The boys were looking at me. They didn't know I was talking to the air like a crazy one. I said, I don't know who he think he is. Somebody helped him and blah, 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 and got me sitting down here like I'm and all these people drinking liquor. I don't drink. If I wanted, I could be the bootlegger. I don't have to do that. And I'm just walking. I heard somebody say, hey, hey. He ran and catch me and grabbed me by the shoulder and said, hey, what's wrong with you? I said, you know, you had me down there embarrassed, and I done come to myself and realized I was begging you. I know who you are. You grew up in a whole house. The lady helped you, and everybody helped you, and you didn't have to treat me like that. If you weren't gonna help me, you could have just said something. He said, whoa, wait a minute. And he walked me up to the car, and he looked in that car. He forgot who my husband was. He said, does this belong to you? Who does belong to?
This belong to you.
He said, who does this belong to? He said, get in the car and come on and follow me. So I got in the car, and they followed us. We got the total experience. When we walked in, who was in there, man, rehearsing but Soul Train? They told me to get dressed. I was gonna do my presentation, my you know, whatever you call it now, on stage. So we got
Don Cornelius,
you name it. They was, boy, I was like to faint it. I like to faint. I said, I told y'all, God said, I told you. So when we went in the back, we put on our clothes, and I came out, and he was standing there talking to Joe Hubbard. Joe Hubbard was the one that he made our manager from that day on. But you know, John Daniels ran the place. So when we got there, I said, where you going? He said, he's going to tell me how it go, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just being honest, you know, I'm a preacher. I'm real now. I have to tell you what people say.
Well, hey, well, we got to tell the truth, you know.
I tell the truth because they're going to be in my book. I said, I said, you're not going to stay and watch us sing and listen to what we do? He looked at me. He said, no, you done made me so nervous. He said, you think I'm going to stand here and see if you can sing or not? He said, and when you get on that
just in case you can't sing, you don't want to be nowhere near.
My color was too light. Okay. He said, I ain't gonna sit here and watch this. He said, Joy tell me. He said, and you know what? He stuck his finger right here. He said, you better be able to sing.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know, Janice, these are the things that happen, you know, when you pursue your career. I mean, and you know what? I can imagine it all happening because similar things have happened to me as well. And so we know where it went from there. Yeah.
But yet what happened is we did our showcase. They'd never seen anybody dance, boys, men who kick their legs up with the guitars. We dance. I'd start a dance, they'd catch it. Whatever it was, they'd catch it. And, you know, I was a very good dancer more than a singer.
Oh yeah.
And whatever they do it with that, they do it with that guitar. I mean, I was kicking up like the Rockettes. They kick up with me. When we got through, Soul Train said nothing. We did our best show we ever did in our life. And when we stopped, waiting for us applause, it was silent. Nothing. I went to the back. I started jerking my clothes off, tearing them off. And I was saying, we did everything. And I just was so sure, you know. And all of a sudden we heard, boom, 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 more. They was in shock. They had never seen a self-contained band do all of that. And when they did, they say, more, come back, encore. Joe walked and said, you got to go back. I said, go back and do what? I ain't got no more music. They said, you got to go back. I had to take, what's her name, did not start that bra. What's the Mexican girl that they say that got killed? The lady got killed and she made them little bra. She didn't start that. I had to take a scarf. Thank God I didn't have no big boobies. And tear it around here. Thank God, because I've been in trouble. And when I went out there, we were standing on the stage looking like a fool. Reggie, Freddie Morrison, and whoever else was with us that came at that time. And I said, I whispered to them because I had a favorite song because I like high, I like high energy thing. I said, follow me. They said, what we gonna do? I said, just follow me. And I started singing a cappella. I said, beat is getting stronger.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Louder too.
I wanna take you higher. And I said, block. I know, wanna take you higher. I said, block. Down, higher. Down.
Right.
Down. And then I dropped down to my knees at Jane Brown and put that leg behind me and spin around and come up. They went crazy. They went crazy. That's when we were doing the rock out. And when we got through, they said, y'all go get everything you own. and let's go. You going to Japan tomorrow? I said, who going to Japan? You going to Switzerland first for the Prince Faisal? I said, who? I don't live here. They said, what you say? I said, I just came down for people to see. They said, how long it take you to get back? I said, I can go home and come right back, but I gotta get my stuff if I'm moving here. They said, go home and come back with everything. We went home and was back in 7 to 10 days, and they sent us straight to Geneva, Switzerland. From there, it was on and popping. We were playing for kings, queens, princes, but we were over in your area. We were over where you are, in Japan, Switzerland. We were doing all that stuff. And yet,
wow.
Now I'm gonna say I said I would say this, but you want to know. And when we got to the hotel, I wanted to stay in hotels like the people. I wanted to feel what the custom feel like. I didn't want to stay in those American hotels. I wanted to be among them. Well,
right.
Archie Dennis was my drummer. And after we'd been there opening for the Prince Faisal and Club Cinco on Wheat in Geneva, Switzerland, he came out one day and he said, we was at the desk. He said, I think this thing is haunted. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I think I'm seeing a ghost in here. I said, boy, you better stop that, man. Ain't no such thing as God. It ain't nothing like that.
Where was that at? Was that in Japan or Switzerland?
I was in Switzerland.
Okay.
He said, I know what I saw. I said, you better stop. They're going to think you're on drugs. Do you do drugs? He's like, no, I'm telling you now, I know what I saw. And so we went back to our room. And as we got ready to leave the day or two before we were going to Japan, he said, came downstairs and I was standing at the desk. He said, ma'am, let me ask you again. Do y'all have ghosts in this house, in this hotel? I said, boy, what is wrong with you? We black over here in Switzerland, they're gonna think we crazy. And on what's wrong with you? He said, be quiet. He said, the man answered, he said, well, yes, I thought you knew that our hotel is rumored to be haunted. He said, what floor is he on? He said, well, it's famous for the 6th floor. Well, they had put him on the 7th. And we were on the 5th. I didn't know why they didn't put him on the 6th. And the lady said, yes, yes, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. He said, he on what floor? She said, the 6th floor. He said, well, you can change that because he's on the 7th floor. He was in my room. And
that ghost got moved up.
Yeah, he quit. Jet, he quit. He left us without a drama. We had to come to Tokyo and hire a drama. We had to come to Tokyo, but they had to stop the concert because by then the demon was following me. I would be in the hotel room and he'd be talking to me and talking to me through the windows. That's how I got saved. He said, yep, I got you. One time I was in the mirror, just in my mind spoke to me, said, throw yourself out that window. I was at the Pacific Hotel. What's the name of the hotel in Japan? Pacific Hotel.
There's a Pacifica, yeah.
40 stories high.
Oh, well, I mean, it's they've built onto it now. It's yeah.
Well, I found myself trying to jump out of a window, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing but talk a lot. I didn't need nothing to make me high. I lived high. I loved life. I found myself trying to jump out of a window. He said, throw yourself out that window. I got you. And that's the day God came into my life. I won't go into the whole story, but he told me, he said, I call you and call you and call you, but you won't answer me. He said, if you don't choose me today, you going to hell. And I couldn't call. It felt like something was choking me. It was choking me. I couldn't say nothing. I thought in the top of my head, Jesus, because I remembered all them Bible studies and they say, all you got to do is say his name, say my name. I could think it. I said, Jesus. When I did, I felt the fire of God going to my feet and come up my body. And when he got here, it's not, the Holy Ghost crossed his hand and said, loose her. And they left me.
Thanks for joining Believers Today, Inspiring Voices. And don't forget, subscribe to believerstoday.org.